We just got our hands on the OnePlus 6, the latest rival to Apple's iPhone X. We thought we'd kick things off by comparing the performance specs and some benchmarks. Out of the box, I was really impressed with the feel of OnePlus's most expensive device to date. The latest iteration is inexpensively priced compared to the iPhone X, starting at $529, and comes with a pre-applied screen protector, a case, and a fast charger. The dash charger's integrated circuits are built into the adapter itself to help keep the phone cooler. This brings the phone from 0 to 100% in just over an hour, compared to 3 hours using the 5-watt charger included with iPhone X. Apple does sell a quicker way to charge their phones, starting with at least $49 for a charging brick and $19 for a specialized USB-C to Lightning cable. For the price, the OnePlus 6 packs some serious value. Let's take a quick look at the specs before we talk about the benchmark results. Our OnePlus 6 is priced at $579, slightly higher than the base model. For that, the RAM is bumped up from 6 to 8 GB and flash storage from 64 to 128 GB. Our iPhone X is the base $999 model with 3 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage. The mid-tier price OnePlus 6 packs the same high-end Qualcomm 645 processor that's included in the Galaxy S9. It's an 8-core CPU that has 4 efficiency cores and 4 performance cores, all running up to 2.8 GHz. In comparison, the iPhone X has a 6-core processor with 4 efficiency cores and 2 high-performance cores running up to a slightly lower speed of 2.39 GHz. In terms of graphics performance, the iPhone X uses an Apple-designed 3-core GPU, which boasts 30% faster speeds over the GPU used in the iPhone 7 models. The OnePlus 6 uses an Adreno 630 GPU, about 30% faster than the previous Adreno 540. One of the main spec differences between the iPhone X and the OnePlus 6 is the amount of RAM included in the phones. Apple's operating system is very efficient, but even with Android being a more RAM-hungry operating system, the OnePlus can edge out the iPhone X when there are a lot of apps open. Now, let's take a look at the benchmarks. Starting off with Geekbench 4, the iPhone X completely destroys the OnePlus in single-core performance, even though the A11's performance cores are clocked a little lower. The OnePlus's multi-core score comes closer to the iPhone than any other Android device we've tested, but the iPhone X is still about 15% faster overall. Next up is the Geekbench 4 graphics test. Here we can see the OnePlus 6 scores impressively close to the iPhone X. Moving on to the Antutu benchmark, the OnePlus actually beats out the iPhone X by almost 30%. Antutu's HTML5 crowned the iPhone X as the winner, but not by much. We also tested GFX Bench OpenGL's Manhattan off-screen test at 1080p to avoid resolution differences. Here we can see the iPhone X is a fair bit ahead. In Octane 2.0, another browser benchmark, the iPhone X floors the OnePlus, likely because of Safari optimizations. Looking at all of these benchmarks, the OnePlus 6 does an impressive job of keeping up with the iPhone X, even though it comes in at about half the price. Of course, benchmarks only tell part of the story. In real world, I was surprised by how smooth and responsive the OnePlus 6 feels. In a lot of places, it feels faster than iPhone X. Part of that is faster animations, but I've also noticed some apps launching noticeably quicker. I'm also impressed with how fast its facial unlock feature works. It may not be as secure as Face ID, but it's definitely faster. You typically don't even see the lock screen before the phone unlocks. You just literally land straight onto your homepage. With high-end CPUs and a boatload of RAM, the latest Android phones are no longer the slow, glitchy devices we've tested in the past. Of course, speed tests don't tell the whole story, so in the coming days, we'll be doing more real-world comparisons between the OnePlus 6 and the iPhone X. Make sure to subscribe and enable notifications.